Good evening all, and welcome to your final orientation seminar here at the Kaiju Defence Force. I see a few faces here today that clearly couldn't be bothered to attend my prior 3 seminars, so for those who don't know, I am Tori Ninte, and while I'm usually a soldier and not a teacher, I will be informing you on all you will need to know to join us here at the Force, including confidential info on the recently completed Martian expedition. First, however, we will cover a victim of the Kaiju Plague's secondary effect, transforming regular animals into Kaiju. This Kaiju is called Tasmathon, and its first attack was on an Australian company named Necron. Similar to recent attempts to revive species such as mammoths and direwolves, Necron was a small startup company who'd succeeded in reviving the extinct Tasmanian tiger. Unluckily, it was this specimen that was mutated by the plague into Tasmathon. This Kaiju's main abilities are its incredible stamina and powerful jaw. Next, we have a change of pace in the natural Kaiju, Cerebrute. This Kaiju's abilities include 4 clawed tendrils sprouting from their back, incredible senses despite their lack of traditional sensory organs, and a thick, purple gas they can release at will. This purple gas seems to have a very anomalous effect, that being that it somehow links the nervous systems of Kaiju and humans. People who've been afflicted by the gas have been seen spontaneously gaining new bruises, nosebleeds and other injuries in line with the different Kaiju they'd allegedly been linked to. This Kaiju is particularly difficult to fight against as, when injured, its gaseous blood mixes with its own smoke, causing confusion for all those attempting to go against it. This next Kaiju is a result of the recent slaughter on the Terrestrios mechs, which we will discuss in more detail with our next specimen. While unnamed as of yet, it is an odd, warped Kaiju that seems to have mutated from the parasite fueling the destroyed Terrestrios parasite mech. After the mech was destroyed, the existing parasites stored within began to mutate and overtake the mech and the surrounding area. The mech and developing Kaiju have been labelled a biohazard by the country's government, with the city it is in being closed off to the public. The developing alien is under very close observation from us here at the Kaiju Defence Force. Now, onto the reason for the Terrestrios mech's destruction. The Kaiju that destroyed the Terrestrios mechs has been given the name Mech Eater by the public, and it is a Kaiju that mutated from an Amazonian giant anteater. It has multiple abilities, though its most powerful is its raw strength and power. After going on some of the most destructive rampages we've seen recently, we at the Kaiju Defence Force made the executive decision to send the Terrestrios mechs to face him. I assume you all know how the fight ended. Now we will discuss the recent expedition a select few soldiers here at the Kaiju Defence Force recently took to a Martian base. Around 3 months ago, we had collected enough Martian technology to create a rocket able to travel to Mars and back in order to gather information on the Martians' technology and motives. The journey was around 1 month there and back, with the squadron having returned just last week. When the ship was approaching the Martian base, the crew noticed a colossal humanoid figure lying across the cracked earth, its body having been decayed and ruined by the Martian dust storms and atmosphere. Its brain fell out of its head, its bones came out of its skin, and its very flesh was stretched, warped and burnt. Due to research we now found in the base, we now believe that this kaiju was part of an experiment done by the Martians to create a kaiju capable of surviving in Mars's atmosphere, though they clearly haven't succeeded in this endeavour as of yet. The squadron then entered the base, remaining incognito and gathering information until they arrived in a large open room, mostly empty apart from a few crates and a large stationary kaiju stood at the back of the room. When the group entered, an alarm blared and the mouth of the large kaiju opened. Its own flesh tore apart with both gas and slime spilling out. Then a worm-like kaiju with ripped flesh and irregular limbs crawled out, attacking the group. This incomplete kaiju was actually very easy to fight against, as it was very physically weak. The only difficulty was the Martian soldiers who arrived soon after, forcing the squadron to retreat. The stationary kaiju we've since called the Martian Forge. We believe that it is used by the Martians to create their kaiju, and the reason the kaiju our soldiers fought against was so deformed was that they entered and interrupted the incubation process. From what we've gathered, the mouth on its stomach seals itself shut and acts as a melting pot for different cells, bacteria and chemicals, with the kaiju the Martians sent to Earth being developed within these artificial wombs. As of yet, we are unsure as to how many they have, though we believe the number is likely over 100. While attempting to escape the Martian soldiers, some of our own soldiers were split off from the group and arrived in a large artificial biosphere that they needed their suits to survive in. Inside this artificial environment, they were hunted by an enormous snake-like kaiju with acidic venom and enormous fangs. They were eventually able to escape the biosphere, however, reconvening with the rest of the squadron as they all ran to the ship, unprepared for what would be coming after them all next. As the ship began to take off, it was followed by an enormous gorilla-like kaiju with one arm and a red scaly hide. Our soldiers all shot at it with seemingly no effect. Some believe this was a last-ditch attempt from the Martians to prevent the group getting back to Earth, but luckily the kaiju's own flesh started to decay and tear from Mars's atmosphere, allowing our squadron to escape. Now that we have finished discussing this expedition, you are all full-fledged soldiers. You will have your final assessment in 48 hours. Anyone who does not attend will be let go, along with anyone who scores lower than 70%. Hey, don't blame me. I don't make the rules. Now, I hope to work with some of you out on the battlefield.